right, so we're going to start off on the second tab with a special act by Ryan Numrich. And I'm going to go ahead and let him take over from here.
This is my first time doing special acts. I'm here with a spot on the food chart that I ordered from Amazon 24 hours ago. Back to Jeff Bezos. But here and I'm excited to share with you one of my incredibly distinct passions, and that is history and anthropology. I have a PowerPoint presentation on history and anthropology. Now, I know I mentioned this when you were thinking there's a cis-het white man sitting in front of you saying he's going to talk about history. Let me ease your concerns a little bit by talking about the things I'm not going to be talking about. Number one, World War II. Far too modern for my taste. Too many bad guys. Still too modern for my taste. Too many races. Yeah. Some South walls. This PowerPoint presentation is going to last longer than the Confederacy Day. Ancient Rome did have an idea of tying the theme into the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, but the MSI has a wonderful Pompeii exhibit. I'm not going to compete with them. Go see that. Also, too many Caesars. Get the fuck out. Today, instead, we're going to be talking about the epic of Gilgamesh. Weighing in well over 4,500 years old, this epic poem is more than just the oldest recorded story in history. It is also a quasi-historical document. Gilgamesh was a real king, or was a real kingdom, and he did a lot of shit in the poem that is an allegory for the shit that his real self did in real life that has implications even today. The memorable text comes to us in the form of 12 clay tablets inscribed with the writing system known as cuneiform, in much the same way as the Latin alphabet is used for English, German, French, Spanish. Cuneiform is a phonetic alphabet that can be used for Sumerian, Hittite, Akkadian, and many other associated dialects. As an example, I've written down a cuneiform for a question for you all. Now, I'm not a Sumerian scribe. And I had to cheat a little bit because not a lot of the sounds in the English language are actually represented in So this reads is pretty simple. To is this. Yeah. Is or your. Yeah. Yeah. Is this? Yeah. No, sorry. This is just or. I had a different way of spelling this, and I realized there's you are or. Is this or? Only. This one gets weird. Ta, yet, met, time, time. Oh man. He, in, hearing. Yeah, hear it. There you go. Is this your only time hearing? Ta'ut, a talk. About. Uruk. Uruk's easy. Uruk's actually a thing that exists. Not a Sumerian scholar. This was done in 24 hours. Take all of this with a grain of salt. If you want to know my sources, I will be available. I will show to talk about them because that's how responsible history study works.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Okay, yes, good. Yes. Unfortunately, those 12 tablets I mentioned are fragmentary, so we don't have a single complete version of the text. Some were written in Babylonian, some in the original Sumerian. Some of them are separated by hundreds of years between each other. Lucky for us, archaeology works. With the tablets we have, the record of Gilgamesh is kind of like randomly pulling 100 issues from the entire publishing history of Spider-Man comics. It's not necessarily going to be consistent. There will definitely be gaps, but in all likelihood, you're going to get a pretty good idea of like who the character is, what their powers are, and how they sort of behave in general. And like Spider-Man today, there was a general sort of cultural knowledge that everyone in Mesopotamia had of Gilgamesh's story. For example, what's Spider-Man's real name?
Peter Parker.
Good, yes. 4 miles, yeah. We'll see Spider-Verse, it's great. How did he get his powers?
Bit by a radioactive spider.
Yes. Besides the colors you see here, what's another color of his costume?
Black.
Black, yes, black costume. That was the deep cut. That's deep cut for me. By applying that kind of knowledge, we get something we do have with other artifacts, things like artwork, court records, etc., to fill in any blanks with a reasonable margin of accuracy. Kind of like using someone's collection of Spider-Man Funko Pops to fill in the blanks of the project. Moment.
Oh.
I did kind of lose the thread, and also I was very hard. Time to read this. I pulled it in. Yeah, kind of lost the thread there. Why the hell am I talking about this book? Well, famous oil spills, BP oil spills specifically, oil spills in general, are a man-made environmental disaster that's been happening since the turn of the 20th century. They are the proverbial descendants, however, of a long, illustrious career of mankind just absolutely shitting where we. And one such instance is recorded in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and I will tell you all right now, you are going to be shocked, absolutely shocked, when you learn that it is all based around the selfish thoughtlessness of a wealthy, powerful elite who wanted to secure his legacy. No. Now, now we're going to get into what I consider a short, spark notes of the Cliff Notes version of the Epic of Gilgamesh. He was cruel to his subjects because he was alone, and no friends, no peers, no one he considered a close confidant, which is kind of understandable. He was 2/3 God. This caused the people to be unhappy. The unhappy people prayed to their gods. Nice. And the gods created Enkidu, a wild man of the wilderness. Enkidu was taken in by Shamhat, the temple sex worker, and was taught civilization. And he got angry when he learned about the atrocities that Gilgamesh was, committing. I'm basically had the energy on. So, Gilgamesh was about to get his prima noctis on with the young bride. He stepped in front of him, and the two of them fought. After a titanic wrestling match, Gilgamesh versus Enkidu, they became best friends.
Oh!
Big old ass Chris. We'll come back to that. Best friends, Chris. Keep that in mind. Wait. Now finally we get to the point. With the magic of friendship, Gilgamesh wanted to turn things around his legacy. He wanted to build Uruk up after tearing it down. And in order to do that, he needed wood, specifically the cedars of Lebanon. It's a somewhat rare and highly sought after building material even today. These trees have their own quasi-mythical history that I will save for the next special act that I do. Suffice it to say, they were used to help build the pyramids of Egypt. They appear in the Bible, where the bark is used to cure leprosy. And a silhouette of the citrus vine tree adorns the Lebanese flag to this day. Tree.
Wow.
Yes. Now I'm running out of time. I'm going to speed things up a little bit. Don't worry about this just yet. Gilgamesh knows he wants these trees, and Enkidu, being from the wilderness, knows that the cedar forest is the realm of the gods and is protected by a fierce alien named Baba. Enkidu, the elders of Uruk, and even his own divine mother tried to talk Gilgamesh out of going to get these trees, but damn it, he's got a vision. Don't worry, it's going to be totally fine. Gilgamesh wanted to secure his everlasting legacy, so Ada, the good. After collecting the cedars, and he looks back and sees the devastation that they have left in the wake and says, "We have reduced the forest to a wasteland." He also remembers that Umbaba was the servant of Enlil, the god of the earth, and there would be repercussions for his act. Circle back to that big Alaska we were talking about before. On the page about Gilgamesh and his friendship. It's June. Friday.
Oh.
The tendency in academia to look at certain things and the way they are written and be like, they are just good friends. They just live together. They are roommates. I would encourage each of you to read the academic progress. It is a beautiful work. It is foundational. There are things like foreshadowing and cliffhangers and amazing fights and beautiful imagery. Definitely check it out. And when you read it, you will see details about the wrestling match they had. Hunt for Umbaba and how they were huddling in the dark of the night in the cedar forest while they were hunting this tiny female. How they kiss each other, which could be just like a regular, like brotherly, love, friendly, like thing, but also like they could be like smooching. Yeah. By icons. If you do read the Epic of Gilgamesh, a picture of the cedar forest's vast beauty begins to take shape in the reader's mind. Studies for the 70s and 80s and 90s. One of the things you can vote on for next month, have confirmed that as long as 45,000 years ago, the East Mediterranean was flush with huge, beautiful streets. As the first human beings settled into the region and began building homes and towns and cities, the doom that Enkidu saw began to take shape. In the story, he is struck down with an illness sent by the gods, and Gilgamesh is cursed to outlive his only friend, lover, and peer. But he would gain the fame he sought and be remembered for all time. However, the cost was too great. By the time of the historical Uruk and Gilgamesh, this deforestation had been going on for centuries. It had a terrible impact on the people living in Mesopotamia. Soil erosion, climate change, drought, famine. These things are not new, as every news outlet worth a damn has been using these exact same terms to warn us for as long as I have been alive and as long as many of you have been alive. This is nothing new, going way, way back. Almost miraculously, there are still old-growth cedars in Lebanon, however, but they are, of course, at terrible risk. Experts predict that climate change will make the species extinct by 2100 if we can't turn things around. God damn it, I was really hoping I wouldn't cry. I cried every single time I rehearsed this. I think it's only appropriate to end here with an excerpt from another epic poem of sorts. But now, says the onceler, now that you're here, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.